Well, hello everybody. This is the first time we've had a formal introduction to this.
I don't know if I like it.
I don't know if I like it either.
The weird thing is we just recorded for about a couple of minutes just chit-chatting, and I was under the impression that was going to be the start.
Yeah.
And then you've thrown this upon me.
I've just ruined this for everyone.
And I was like, oh, another nice natural conversational start. And then we checked the volumes and now we're doing a formal introduction.
I know. I don't know why this happened. Well, I do know. It's because we're using two microphones this time. And I was like, well, I better actually make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
And then I listened back and I was like, well, why wouldn't anything be okay?
And did it sound good?
It sounded pretty sick.
And that's nice. Hopefully all you long time listeners out there notice a slightly raised bar of production value this time round.
Hopefully you all really hopefully you're all grateful that we actually put in some effort this time.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take if you want to take the podcast seriously, which a tiny part of me does, I feel like we have two good mics here to use. We may as well use them.
At the end of the day, it's podcast or death. Podcast or die. And,
the best thing about the podcast, right, is it makes me feel like we're creating content while also just getting to utterly procrastinate and just chill out and hang out together. It's
the best of both worlds. It's like content, but at the same time, it very much isn't.
Yeah. Anti-content.
Anti-content. I quite like the idea of just doing nothing. We were just discussing the fact that you will probably be doing nothing tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got a Saturday off for the first time in ages.
Aye.
And I put a little bit of effort into trying to create plans for myself. They fell through fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I got over that. And the idea of now doing nothing is quite nice.
I wish I did more nothing today and tomorrow.
I've always been one where, like, if you get the people that don't really want to waste a weekend or something.
Yeah.
Or, like, if they're stuck in on a Friday night or a Saturday night, that it's kind of, what do they call it? FOMO.
FOMO?
Have you heard of FOMO? Do you know what FOMO is?
I know what Shinfo is.
What's Shinfo?
It's shit information.
Oh, right. No, FOMO is fear of missing out.
Oh, okay.
It gets referred to a lot with, like, the big social media predicament that the entire Western world is in at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's like people hooked on their phone, me kind of included.
Yeah, I'm pretty hooked on it.
See, I'm not hooked on it in terms of FOMO. I'm not worried about missing out.
Yeah.
I don't go on my phone to make sure that I'm involved in things that are happening.
If anything, I'm pretty glad I'm missing out.
That's it.
I look at like my phone and just everyone's like going out or like had a time. It's just like, well, thank God I missed that.
You look at your phone and you've got a few messages,
yeah,
and you're like, God, I hope people aren't asking me to do stuff.
I get like I'm on that like big fear where like somebody sends me a message and I go, oh no, and I put my phone away immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm so bad for responding to messages nowadays. Like I'll just be like, that's a message that requires more than a minute the thinking time for me to respond to that, and then 2 weeks later I still haven't done it.
But like the glorious thing and the curse of interacting via social media is you can see when someone's messaged you and take it upon yourself to decide when to reply.
Yeah.
So obviously if someone phones you,
mm-hmm.
If my phone ever rings, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I hate it.
Something terrible must have happened.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
I phoned Liam yesterday. And it was just weird that I was making a phone call.
Yeah, you phoned me the other day.
I did, yeah.
And I was just sort of like, my initial reaction was like, oh, what the fuck is it now? And then it was just Billy. I was like, all right.
It was just me in the music shop. Like, do you need an XLR cable? Because I'll buy one.
And I was like, yes. And then
it was actually nice.
It was kind of nice, but
I shit myself because like I thought the conversation was over, right? And you're just like, oh, so how are you doing? And I was like, holy shit, he didn't just hang up.
See, it's like that kind of thing where it's like if somebody phones me, I think I'm so used to if nobody ever phones me. The only person who phones me is my mum.
Yeah.
It's usually when it's like, and I'm not really allowed to kind of just put the phone down and be like, okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Because then she'll just be like, that was very rude.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, but we have nothing to say. I'm on my way to work.
The only people that ever phone me out my work, and it's just cannot be good news. Because your work are never going to phone you to ask you to come in an hour later.
I hate when
it's always going to be an hour earlier.
I think the one time my work phoned me, and it was like the section of my work that I don't usually work for. They were like, "Can you come in tomorrow at like 8 a.m?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes." And then he like said a whole bunch of other stuff down the phone to me.
Yeah.
And some of it, I can only assume it was important, but I don't know. Like, the only information I got from it, and what really mattered at the time was, I guess I'm working tomorrow now at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
An 8 a.m. shift that I was subsequently 2.5 hours late for.
Yeah. See, I'm a sucker because they'll be like, "Oh, can you come in tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then the moment you hang up, you go, "Oh, fuck!"
Yeah, I accepted a shift at one of my other jobs.
But unless I have an actual reason to say no,
yeah, you kind of have to.
I do feel kind of bad, and I like my work, so it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, it's like, God, I wish that hadn't happened.
Yeah, I know. I got asked to do a shift like next Thursday. I'm just like, can you please do this? And I looked at it and day off, and I was like,
yeah.
And I nearly did that thing where I just put the phone down and just didn't answer it. And I was just like, they need an answer immediately. You can do this. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Sometimes you see the fear in a co-worker's eyes when they're asking you to cover a shift. And like, it reminds me that I can't be all bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this person really wants me to do that shift.
Yeah.
And I suppose.
I can't be my usual work persona of a prick.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, you're imploring me to do this, and then it's just like, instead of an obligation, it becomes like a favor, like a nice thing to do.
But then there's always that evil thing in the back of your head going, that cunt owes me a favor now.
Yeah.
And I never forget. It could be like 6 months later.
Billy the Elephant never forgets.
And I'm like, Paula, you owe me 30 minutes. From that time 6 months ago when I let you away to go to the fucking dentist or something.
I need to go
to the fucking dentist.
Give me that 30 minutes of my life back.
You know, the last time I was at the dentist, right? My teeth were fine.
Right.
And for like a day before, and it was just like a checkup. It wasn't like I was going in for a specific reason. Mm-hmm. And I was lying in the chair, right? And I had a little bit of a sensitive bit on one of my teeth.
Yeah.
And say I had 100 little voices in my head. 99 of them were going, "Don't mention it. Don't mention it." And then the one that actually spoke. Yeah. And I don't like my dentist. She's not a nice woman. And I used to have a really nice dentist because he didn't actually give much of a fuck. Right. And like, you could go in there with one tooth. Yeah. And he would look at it. It's fine. It's fine. And unless you were in like actual pain, yeah, he would just leave your fucking teeth alone. Yeah. And the moment I'd said to this woman, I've got a bit of a sensitive tooth, just there, only for the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. Like, I go to the dentist once a year for a checkup. And generally my teeth are fine, right? So we're talking 363 days of the year that's passed. It's been fine. Yeah. And the 2 fucking days building up to this appointment. Yeah. It'd been a little bit sore. Probably just because I'd ate loads of chocolate. Or something silly. And I thought, I better tell her. I better tell her. So I'm like, this tooth here has been a little bit sore. Yeah. Just for the last couple of days, like, if you maybe want to have a look at it, right? And she fucking prodded it with a stupid little bit right in to the little, I don't know, the
fucking evil little tools that they have.
She went on to tell me it was too small for it to even need a filling. Right. So it's like tiny. Yeah. But she prodded it, and it was really fucking sore. Yeah. And for like the next week, it was fucking sore. So at the end of that week, I'm like, well, should I make an appointment now for this tooth? Because it's really sore.
That's how they get you, man.
And I was like, no. She's prodded that to make it fucking sore.
The thing is, at the end
in
of
the
the
hope that I'm going to come back and make an appointment and she's going to go, oh, that's 40 quid.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like with the dentist, you got to remember that, or I forget that you have to pay for a dentist. Like,
yeah, the glory days finish, I think, when you're 16, is it? I don't know. I can't remember.
I mean, the glory days
Depends
in
if you go to
general.
a private dentist. But
I mean, the glory days in general do probably finish when you're 16.
yeah, in all aspects of life.
But yeah, like, oh man, I've not been to the dentist in ages, because like they made an appointment for me maybe like 2 years ago, then cancelled it and just said, oh, we'll let you know when another one comes up, and they never did.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna make an appointment off my own fucking back.
Yeah.
Because I'm really lazy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go to the dentist. But you know, like,
it's a horrible.
Plus, a lot's changed since then in my life. Like,
yeah,
that you can, you know, like, there's 2 bad years of my life you can just see on my teeth.
Yeah.
And I just know it's gonna be bad news as soon as I go back. So I'm just like, well, I don't want to go back. Like, I just know they're gonna be like, well, that's not good. Let's put you in for an X-ray, and that's like maybe 20 quid. And it's like,
yeah, but when my new dentist started, and the reign of terror began, she was like, oh, I know Mr. Henderson, who's my old dentist, didn't keep X-ray records of all his patients on the ones that actually needed to get one.
Yeah.
But the way I kind of work is that I'm trying to encourage all the patients that come in to get one just for records, because it's going to help in the long run. And I'm like, I'm 25. My dentist has never needed an X-ray.
Yeah.
Think how many other people. And I was like, oh, does it cost money? And she's like, yeah, it's going to be 23 quid. And I was like, nope. No danger. And she's saying that to everyone that comes in.
Yeah.
It's like, you're just trying to get 23 bastard quid off all these people. You think I've got 23 quid to give you an extra? Like, do I get a copy?
You can stick it on your wall.
That's it. For
Frame
you to
it.
put a fucking... To have a file on your computer of an X-ray of my teeth. If the time comes you need one, I'll pay 23 quid. And we can get one. But I don't need one right now.
Yeah, but it'll be too late though.
I don't...
I mean, I know.
My teeth are okay.
I'm playing dentist advocate here. Dentist advocate, because they are the devil.
They are horrible, horrible people.
To be fair, like, the dentist that I went, he was called Drew. Lovely man. Really sick.
Sounds great.
Yeah, he was a cool, chill guy.
Yeah.
I go to Citrus Dentist.
Citrus.
Citrus.
Citrus is bad for your teeth, though.
I know. I think that's ironic. Must be ironic. I hope it is ironic.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's bad for your teeth. I think if you drink a lot of like fruit juice and stuff, it's quite bad for your teeth.
No, I think it's bad.
There's not that much that's good for your teeth, really. Calcium. That's about it.
Calcium, yeah, but that's milk, and only complete psychopaths just drink pints of milk. I used to really like drinking like just straight milk.
Yeah, so did I.
I just don't really. I'm not really for it now. Can't do it. Not a big fan of it. Only unless I've had like maybe like 3 whole packets of biscuits, and I didn't have like a cup of milk with me at the time for Dunkin' purposes. So like the makeshift is to tan the biscuits and then just down like a fucking glass of milk.
Yeah.
Just proper smash it
and let the combo just happen, but just later on in the digestive system.
Love it. That's the only time I really truly enjoy milk, because then you just kind of like, it lets all the kind of like
the milk and cookies combo is one of the greatest. It's a winner of all time. Yeah,
it's
there's a reason
the winner.
There's a reason that combo stuck around.
That's stuck through thick and thin, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's seen through the best and worst of times. And
it's simple. It's simple and effective.
It is simple and effective.
It's like, I'm going to put this cookie in this milk, and both the milk and the cookie are just going to explode in quality.
I mean, the thing is, it's completely dependent on the type of cookie that you've got.
What kind of cookies are you into?
Well, I've not really had like a whole big old bunch of...
I remember going round to yours, and cookies were a staple. Cookies
have been a constant in my life since
Maryland's. You were a bit of a Maryland cookie kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean,
like quite a, you know,
all the chunky ones.
British cookies.
Yeah,
are kind of more like you You know, the ones you get from Tesco, like the big flat ones,
yeah.
quite soft,
Yeah.
big flat.
The Sainsbury's own brand double choc ones.
But I've always been more about like the Maryland kind of packeted little round, kind of shortbready like cookies.
I eat them worryingly fast.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
So it like, I've been thinking a lot about this, but the way that I like to taste things, I don't really like to kind of have it, nibble it, and then just really kind of like assess the nuances of the taste.
Right.
I like to eat so fast.
I'm a very fast eater as well.
And it almost
Quick
like
consumer.
it's almost like it's eating so fast. It's almost like a drone,
Yeah.
like a kind of long, enduring pitch, but it's a taste in my mouth.
I sometimes forget to breathe when I'm eating.
Yeah, I sometimes forget to swallow when I'm eating. I just kind of eat like a duck,
Yeah.
or chew,
Just snap it away at food.
or the opposite. Just sort of like sometimes it's like two chew and then down. That's all I
I'm
need.
quite bad for not chewing my food very well,
Yeah,
and I kind of try to swallow, and it's like I should chew that more. I
It's
don't
when-
like when the consistency becomes really mushy in my mouth. I'm not into that. I quite like just
yeah.
shoveling it through. Just shoveling it through very quickly.
End of the day, I just don't really like food that much anymore.
You're not that much of a food guy.
No,
See, I'm a food man.
he's a food man.
Not so much anymore, but I love food, and I eat a lot.
I just present food. It's just I view all human bodily functions as chores.
Yeah.
Like going like I don't know, pissing's that rare one where it's like, for fuck's sake, I've got stuff to do. I've just got home. All I want to do is fucking sit down, and I need a piss.
Yeah.
Like, can I not just fucking sit down?
So yeah, that's kind of annoying. The only time pissing's good is if you're bursting and
the relief is just.
But that's just relief. Whereas like I can really, really love eating, even when I'm not particularly hungry.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Taste is probably, is that one of the five senses?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I've not went through the five senses in a long time.
I've not reviewed the five senses in a while.
No.
I've not gone over my notes since
Primary.
nursery.
But yeah, taste is the best sense, right?
I mean,
After hearing,
I think hearing for me is probably hearing and sight
because that is in itself
on par as number one.
Yeah, I suppose, because you would rather all food tasted of nothing for the rest of time than you see nothing right?
Yeah, yeah.
But would you rather go deaf or would you rather go blind? That's. I think I would, as much as I do love music, and I love hearing people, I think I would rather go deaf than go blind, because at least you can go around and do stuff and walk and. Well, I mean, obviously you can still walk either way, but
I don't know.
I just
It's a 50-50.
the idea of going blind to me is very, very scary.
So much of like what people view as good is the complete visual aspect of things, whereas like, so a lot of the time you'll just look at something and go, nah, but even without really giving it a go. Whereas if you completely eliminate that option, but then again,
You'd maybe get a more honest representation of
yeah,
all things
Mhm.
without having the option of basing it on like what you see.
But the same time, you know,
But the inconvenience level of being blind is more than being deaf, surely.
I don't know, man. Like,
There's a mad motherfucker that lives near to where I live,
Right.
who's blind,
Mhm.
and he sprints around like he's a runner,
right.
and he's kitted out with all the stuff, like running trousers, fancy stuff, slick pair of shades, and his forgive my ignorance for not knowing what the stick's called, but
Cane.
like the blind man's cane thing.
Yeah,
And he fucking sprints around,
probably goes for it.
and like just. I was walking to work one day over the winter, and it was icy as, and there's a little hill
Yeah.
and I was slipping my way up this hill like an idiot, and he overtook me. And he was just running like it was nothing. And I was like, I was so impressed with this guy. I was like, this guy's utterly incredible.
It's kind of weird. It's like if
not a single fuck was given.
He
just overtook me. And he wasn't even doing it to show off, because he probably didn't know I was there.
That's it, man. I think, like, I feel like it's really palpable how, like, much your kind of your sense of alignment is completely dependent on how much you hear.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think they say if you eliminate one of your senses, all the other ones become much better.
I don't know. I think I'm tempted to say I'd rather be blind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's interesting.
I'd rather be blind. Yeah, I'd rather be blind because there's too many sick tunes out there.
That's true. I mean, I presume, like, and for the sake of the question, you can't fit a hearing aid.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you weren't deaf, you could fit a hearing aid. I don't know. I'm not clued up on the scientific side of things. But I presume people can go deaf beyond the point of a hearing aid.
Yeah, totally.
There must be a level of deafness where you can't.
No, I'd hate that. That'd be. But I don't know. Like if it happened to me, I'd probably just be like, ugh, well, this is just how it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather one or the. I'd much rather one or the other. I'd hate, deaf and blind. That's just death.
That would be horrible.
That would be so grim.
I feel terrible for people that are like, especially. I mean, obviously it's really terrible, but I suppose if you're born that way,
you don't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I suppose that's equally as bad because they've never experienced certain things. But it must be tough for people that lose. I don't know if you lose your sight after having it.
It's a big fear. It's a big fear.
Yeah. I just reckon you'd get extremely claustrophobic if you were blind.
You'd have to, you'd probably just want to give up immediately.
Yeah.
And all the things that you'd enjoy doing, you wouldn't really be able to. So a lot of the time, you wouldn't be able to do them at all anymore, or not to the degree that you would want to do them. It would just be grim.
It would. I think you would indulge heavily in music, though.
Yeah.
That would be a very, very good thing to do.
I mean, without either or, it would be really difficult.
Yeah.
Well, like, if I was blind, then I'd probably be able to play guitar, and I'd probably be able to play shows, but I wouldn't really be able to record music.
No, you'd have to get some kind of software that you could. I don't know. But yeah, you couldn't sit in your room and fiddle on the computer and stuff.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that. And that's kind of the killer, really. Yeah, I don't know. It's not for me, this deaf or blind business. I'm quite happy how I am.
Of course. And you should... Well, I suppose we should both be very lucky that we can see and hear.
I like to think I'm making the most of it.
Are you, though? That's the...
Almost definitely not.
I don't
really.
I don't like the question of are you making the most of this and that, because... It's just needless pressure, really, isn't it?
It is a bit. I mean, if you wake up every day and you're kind of going... I mean...
At the same time, I do like those days where you get the motivation to really make the most of your day.
I suppose, but, it's like, as long as you're not kind of living in guilt at the fact that, I didn't do nearly as much as I should have done this today. Which is kind of what I actually get a lot of the time. Like, I will probably, I don't know, today and yesterday. More so yesterday. Whoa, my bed just broke.
Is the bed? Wow.
Whoa, there we are.
That's a funny in-joke to what we were talking about. Maybe doing... We'll not mention it, but, the bed's broken. That's weird, because are you lighter than me?
Yeah, I mean, this bit's...
Your ass is plunked quite missile-like on that section of the bed.
I'm pretty compact.
You're quite...
you can fit me into lots of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can stuff me into the back of a car and I wouldn't complain.
You've bullet-arsed. I'm thick, so I've got you're quite a fat arse. For my size, I'm quite small and stocky.
Yeah.
I'm not a fat guy, but there's meat on my arse, so I think it's spread a bit safer on the bed, I really feel like I'm not gonna break
You're
this
tender.
bed.
You're a tenderloin.
I've got a fat arse. That's the truth of the matter.
I don't know how to judge my arse, really.
Bend over and give me a look.
Yeah, if you want. No.
I've looked at your arse many times before. It's nice.
Is it all right?
I think you wear. You've got quite a good awareness of like the clothes you wear. Like you don't, even when you kind of look like you've just thrown on an outfit. I look at you and I'm kind of like, there's something coordinated going. I think it's maybe just.
That's really nice of you to say.
I don't know. I think you just buy clothes on a more conscious level than I buy clothes.
I just like.
I'm kind of like, is
like
that a comfy jumper?
Yeah.
Jumper?
Jumper.
Is jumper? Is that a comfy jumper? Are those blue jeans? Okay.
I don't even remember the last time I wore blue jeans.
Yeah, you're not a blue jeans kind of guy, which is
No.
very anti-thrash.
I'm not very thrash anyway.
No, you're not. Neither am I, to be honest. Not visually, anyway.
I
wear blue jeans every day. Every day.
Yeah, you do, actually. I've
Like-
never seen you. I think there was a couple of gigs where you wore black jeans.
Yeah,
Surely.
probably.
Surely.
Yeah, oh yeah, a while back. But in general,
Back in the day.
general day to day. See, I'm the kind of guy when I buy clothes, I'm looking to replace
What you've already
I
got,
need
yeah.
with exactly what I had before.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to replace.
See, I've got staples. I've got a system. So I've got
Nice.
like 2 pairs of good jeans, good skinny black jeans that actually fit me, but don't look as great, but they're comfy.
Right.
I've got the 2 pairs of jeans, well actually 3 pairs of jeans, skinny jeans, that don't really fit me that well and are kind of fucked, but I will wear them to work, or I'll wear them if I'm walking the dog and I don't give a shit if mud gets put on them. But like I've got some baggy trews, so I've got kind of a pair of like kind of almost worky baggy trews with some pockets in them that I'll wear to work a lot of the time. I've got my kind of 2003 baggy jeans, chinos that I like to wear. That I was wearing a lot during the album process because they were comfy. I've got my baggy,
pure comfort.
got my baggy chinos. I like them. And right now I've got some reasonably fancy trews on today.
Some nice grey checkered sort of.
I don't wear well. I spent like near enough 50 quid on them.
Wow.
It's probably more than that, but so I better fucking wear them.
You may as well wear
I
them.
might as well wear them
For 50 bar.
50 sheet.
Yeah.
I think that's it as well. It's like I'm kind of torn between having like an outfit that I can just not even think about and just fire on.
Yeah.
But like I like to be able to kind of even switch that up a little bit. So I'll wear like the same jeans to death, but I'll maybe switch the
that's what I
t-shirt
do.
up a little bit, and then I'll put like a different hoodie on. Or a lot of the time, I don't know, like I'll maybe pick an outfit. Like this outfit that I'm wearing, I'll probably get maybe a week out of this, maybe not even that. Just because it's a bit out there, and I'm not really that out there in comparison to the outfit. So like, I don't know. After a while, you're kind of going like, I feel rubbish.
I don't know.
I like clothes. I might as well just fucking give this outfit a go. But then it's like I'll have a thing where I'll have an outfit that I'm like, yeah, this is lit.
I feel like you can kind of get away with a little bit of experimentation there.
Yeah.
I kind of just I'm not one to push the boat out in terms of what I wear really.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I like. There's times where I feel like I haven't pushed the boat out enough, and I'm like, well, fuck it, let's give it a go. And I'll kind of stockpile clothes a little bit. So like,
I think it's kind of interesting how one person can look incredible in one thing.
Oh
and,
god,
and
yeah.
someone else could
Somebody
probably look really tragic in it.
Mince, yeah.
And it's like it's the same bit of clothing, and I don't know, the person.
I don't know. I think
more of a role in.
See, if we swap outfit right now,
yeah,
I feel like I could kind of pull your outfit off.
I think you would look better in mine than I would look in yours, for sure.
I don't want to agree.
No, you should agree. I think I'd look a bit silly.
Well, yeah, but
I don't look that good in white because I've got like a bit of a belly.
Yeah.
So like white isn't good. Like I'm not fat, but like
yeah,
there's something about white that
isn't that white's a kind of risky one. Like it's either
I never wear white.
It's either really flattering or it's really just like, nah, what are you doing? I'm wearing like this that you got me this.
Yes.
This puffy
that was your
long
Christmas
sleeve
present.
And I'm so happy with it and I love it. But it's like
when I bought it, I was hoping there would be a black one with white writing.
Oh, that would have been the dream.
But there wasn't, and I thought Oliver's the kind of guy that I see wearing white fairly regularly.
I don't really know if I do. Do I?
I don't know. I feel like maybe I've just made the presumption he must wear white more than me.
Well, that's
so I wouldn't
true.
buy myself a white t-shirt.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily buy myself a white t-shirt either. But if somebody gives me one, apart from the Kingpin t-shirt, but that's mostly just because Kingpin are fucking incredible and I wanted to.
I think I've got 2 white Kingpin t-shirts and I very rarely actually wear them like on show.
Yeah.
But
thing is with white, it's like after a while it just stains and and it's not coming out.
Kingpin, they put up merch, I buy it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes. I actually bought the new long sleeve, The Prayers Won't Save You long sleeve today, and I've already got the Prayers Won't Save You t-shirt that I bought at Cocoa Fest, I think it was.
Yeah, I bought mine at Cocoa Fest.
But they put up a black long sleeve today, and I was like, well, I'm buying that too.
I kind of want that, now that I think about it.
I've been spinning the new Kingpin.
I've not really listened to it.
And
not yet, properly.
You should, man.
I really should.
It's. I feel like I want to move my mic further away from you, knowing that you've not spun it that much yet.
That's
because I'm like, I don't like this person anymore, and I don't know you anymore.
I'd be feeling exactly the same way, and I'm pretty ashamed.
Yeah, you should be. It's good.
There's no excuse for me now because it's on Spotify as well. So
yeah, I know. When I told you to listen to it before, you were like, "Oh, when it goes up on Spotify, I'll spin it." And I think it was just today. So I'm not gonna be too angry.
I think it was yesterday, actually.
Yeah. If you want to dig the hole bigger for yourself, then be.
Hey man, I'm not shying away from this. I'm a terrible person.
No, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm buzzed to give it a big old spin.
It's Kingpin, man. It's a nice short sort of 3-track.
They're just so much better live though. It's just when you see them live, it's just I don't feel like they've been able to translate how fucking incredible they are on recordings.
I think it's a hard thing to do because it's a hard thing for me to judge because knowing them all personally, knowing all the Kingpin lads personally, it's like I see them with my eyes and I'm like, this is utterly incredible.
See, with your eyesight that you definitely still have. Yeah.
Gentlemen that I know and love. So it plays a big part in just the instantaneous love. And then they play a live set and I'm like, no, they're just an incredible band as well. Like it could be any 4 people up there playing like that. And I'd walk away going, that was fucking gnarly.
Yeah, totally.
But then you add on to the fact that it's like 4 pals.
Yeah.
That are
4 astonishingly really great peeps.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, I can't judge this like a normal person anymore. I don't know, man. I like listening to the recorded stuff a lot. I listen to it very regularly.
Their tunes are so good.
They're just really good. There's a lot of catchy stuff going on there. Good songwriting.
I remember when I was like about to join the band, and then you were like, "What are you doing tonight?" I was like, "Not really anything. Do you want to come see the best live band ever?"
Right.
And it was like you, me, and Andy.
Oh yeah.
And I was just sort of like, you want to come see a gig? I was like, yeah, right. I've got nothing on. And
was that Kingpin at Banshees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and it was like, are you ready to see the best live act of the year? The best live
You'd
band
possibly
you're gonna see
not seen Kingpin at that point.
I hadn't.
Yeah.
I hadn't. So I was sort of like, okay. And part of me was just sort of like, haha, okay. And then you're like, no. I was like, right, okay. Fucking the best live band. The best live band I saw that year.
The most enjoyable underground Scottish band for me to listen to and watch is Kingpin.
They're certainly up there.
Absolutely.
But they're definitely like, as soon as Kingpin play, it's just like I'm immediately having such a good time. I just want to punch the air.
What I've noticed recently with the way my music taste is going is like I've always liked a lot of underground bands in Scotland, but my music taste hasn't been like, I would never describe my metal tastes as underground.
Yeah.
Like I've always listened to mainly your kind of mainstream stuff.
Mm.
And even the less mainstream thrash and stuff I listen to, it's still mostly bands that are pretty well established.
Yeah.
Whereas recently, like, I don't know, it's dawned on me that, especially in Scotland at the moment,
there's so many good bands out.
The Scottish underground metal and hardcore scene right now is a bit of a goldmine.
Yeah.
For all kinds of styles.
Yeah.
What was I listening? Tempered.
Yeah.
They released a new track today called Inversion on Facebook, and it's so good, man. And it's just,
yeah, I saw they were recording not a while back,
and like you would listen to that anywhere in the world and go, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, again, because you know who they are and they're just your mates.
Yeah.
There's that kind of like, oh, this local band released a song.
Yeah, cool. I'll check it out.
I mean, I hate the term local band anyway because it doesn't really make any sense. It's like, yes, they're local to me, but they're still a band that can be listened to anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
so
it's sort of like
local band to me is not a local band to someone else. Like the phrase local band makes no sense. They're I try and use the phrase underground band because that just makes more sense in terms of if you're going to include everyone in the equation.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
And like the song's just gnarly. It just sounds like very old Sepultura, Beneath the Remains kind of era stuff, and it's just like some seriously good shred going on there, big fast riffs, and that's like the first recording I've ever heard of them because they're fairly new.
Yeah,
and like it's so good, and I'm just like, this is
it's promising. Then if they're like coming straight out of the bat with something heavy, strong,
and it's just like over time a realization that like my friends' bands can be my favorite bands.
Yeah,
like I don't have to make this differentiation between like quote unquote real music, like mainstream popular established bands.
Oh yeah, totally.
And then a different section for like local bands, or
I suppose it's like with me and Sectioned, because it's Pedram who lives in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Who does Sectioned and Frontierer.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, with me it was like I listened to Sectioned, and they stopped going for ages, and I always really liked it. I always was really just impressed with everything about it. Like, the production was absolutely astonishing, and it was just spookily heavy.
Yeah.
But then like when Frontier came out, and they started kind of getting a whole lot of global response. Yeah. With like Orange Mathematics, and they just released it for free. It was just sort of like, this is such a fucking gift of an album, like this absolute stonking album full of like maybe 10, 13, I can't remember, 10, 13 absolute just bangers, and it's just pure, just unadulterated angry noise with the whole thing for a whole
they're very noisy
for a whole £3 on Bandcamp. Even like Unloved as well, which is like Frontier's like last one, where like production is just absolutely fucking incredible. And it's just gotten so much better. Still free on Bandcamp, and it's like that's incredible.
I mean, if you're wanting value for money, search search underground bands, because
I know, man. Like
everyone's just giving that shit away to try and get heard.
And even then, man, even if they are,
and even if they're selling it, it's cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I found a band who were like,
I always want to buy music. I
Yeah.
still do buy music.
I heard a band. I can't remember. I don't know where they're from. I think they're American, but they were like, it's basically like this, like MySpace era metalcore throwback kind of thing, and they're called ICU Space Cowboy, all one word. And I was listening to like a track on YouTube, and I was like, this is incredible. Went to Spotify, couldn't find them.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, where are they then? All on Bandcamp, and everything was maybe like $3.
Yeah.
Absolute maximum $3. And it's awesome. Like, it's so good. And but before I really bothered the Spotify Premium, that was kind of, it was YouTube, like people who would put whole albums on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I would maybe like, do they have a Bandcamp link? And it'd be like, yes. And it'd be like, is it free or cheap? And it was like, yes, give me that immediately.
Yeah.
I like it, and I just like the idea of just not necessarily even seeing what the band looks like.
Yeah.
Just going onto like a Bandcamp profile, seeing the discography of like the different artwork that they've got, and kind of going, well, that one looks gnarly. Putting that one on, clicking on it, and listening to it, and going, yes, it's fucking gnarly. Yeah. And then listening to it, being like, well, that's incredible. And then going on the other discography and going, oh, they've got so much shit here. That one also looks gnarly. Let's put that one on. Yes, it's gnarly. You can
kind of immediately access loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Even just like what is it YouTube does, like related videos or something. Yeah. When you're watching something, you get 2/3 of the way through it, and then your eye catches this related. I'm going to watch that one next.
Or even like,
and then like 45 minutes later, you're like, whoa, I've just listened to a whole bunch of.
Well, I was like, I was just rolling. Yeah, I was just had an album on, and on YouTube. I think it was I See You Space Cowboy, and then Vane's debut album came on, and I've heard of Vane, but I never properly listened to them. Is it Error Zone? And I like, they're now easily one of my favorite bands. Now.
I mean, I think just recently, over the last couple of years at least, the stuff that I actually listen to regularly is shifting slowly but surely more to like underground kind of stuff. Like before, like the first album that was released by a Scottish underground band that I really listened to in the exact same way as I would listen to like a mainstream and like album, and just really love it, and listen to it all the time, and found it quite easy to categorize it as just a great album and disassociate with the fact that this is a Glasgow based band. I don't know if you remember a band called Amok.
Oh god, Amok was so good. I saw them where was that
Thrash Night that we put on, maybe 2012.
Was they not? Were they not at the Foot of the World album launch?
They were,
because I saw them then.
Yes, and
they were astonishingly good.
Yeah.
Lead singer was like off the chain.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. Their first album, Downhill Without Brakes. Like I've listened to that so much, and that's like one of my favorite thrash albums ever. But it was always like kind of this is almost the odd one out in terms of like all my favorite metal albums, because this is like by a quote unquote local band. Yeah. And it crept into like my music taste as kind of like it kind of slipped under the radar. Whereas I don't know, in some sort of ignorance, you don't take it quite as seriously because you're kind of judging it as like a local band's releasing, whereas a big established band release something, it's like, is it good or is it shite? And that's kind of how it goes.
I think with like the local band thing, it's for me, and I'm not saying this as a kind of like pseudo producer kind of thing, but just in the kind of like my ear is accustomed to a certain quality of sound. Yeah. So like when.
Yeah, you're a bit of a production-y kind of guy.
Well,
so am I to an extent.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everyone appreciates what sounds good.
Of course, yeah.
So everyone kind of, it's almost a little bit hard to kind of, just in the kind of the kind of day and age where we live in, where everything has to be so incredible and catch you immediately. Otherwise, it's just going to slip under the radar and just going to get swept under the tide of all these other bands that are around. So it's like, I would like if there would be a really, really great band out there, and I'd be like listening to it, but if the production didn't really suit or what I was wanting to listen to at the time, or what I was really used to.
Yeah, I mean, production's really important.
Then it kind of just, it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
It doesn't stick with me as much as it really should, which is a shame. It's such a shame, and like I wish I wasn't like this.
Well, I was a bit of a production snob for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 2, 3, 4 ish kind of years ago.
Yeah.
Where if it wasn't that sort of crisp, modern kind of sounding production, I was not really that into it. But then I don't know, music taste just kind of shifted into like liking older stuff again.
Yeah.
And kind of like hardcore, crossover, speed.
It's all about the context of it though.
And then I think I've hit a kind of middle ground now where I can appreciate it, unless the production's really bad.
Well, even then, it's like if the production's really bad, I can actually probably I'd probably rather the production was either incredible or really, really terrible.
Yeah,
it's that kind of like
nearly good.
It's that kind of like, I know what you were going for, you just weren't able to execute it well enough. I'd rather you were like...
It's a tough one because a lot of underground bands don't have the finance or the time.
I know, it sucks. But at the same time, it's like I was saying with like it's
difficult.
It's all about context as well. It depends what kind of band you're in. For the sake of argument, it's like if I listen to Minor Threat, something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, I wish fucking Adam D from Killswitch Engage fucking produced these guys. It's like, nah, that's not what it's about.
Of course,
that's not what that kind of music is about at all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if I was listening to Killswitch Engage and they sounded like fucking
Minor Threat.
Yeah, or like it sounded like Varg had recorded them on a tape recorder.
Of course, yeah, certain.
Then it just wouldn't really work. Or like Periphery, it just wouldn't really work.
No,
it's a lot to do with context.
Well, for bands like Periphery, it's almost like the production is an extra member of the band.
So part of it, it's almost like an instrument.
Yeah, it is.
Because with Periphery and bands like that, all these tech metal bands, it's like when people started listening to that kind of stuff, it was like the technicality of the instrumentation.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's the technicality of the instrumentation, but they all do it themselves anyway. So you're almost kind of listening to how the overall talent of them. It's like not only can they play these really sick tunes, they know how to make them sound incredible.
See, yeah. I mean, I've never really been into that kind of music, but it's, to me, as someone that doesn't really listen to it, it comes across as kind of like that's, I'm trying to word it in a way that makes sense, like music for producers.
Well, it's nerd music, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it's nerd music, but it's like the production is a real conscious part of it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how production really works, so it doesn't resonate with me in the way that it resonates with you. Yeah,
totally. It's like well, it's nerd music. You know, that's it. It's like that kind of music overall is just for nerds, because it's just like it's nerds who love really complicated, weird music. Yeah. And just kind of like you're thinking about like, you know, oh, where's the song going, or like, oh, that riff is sick, and you know, try and learn it. It's like I can't play that.
Yeah.
Or like, what's the time signature, or like, but you know, it's now kind of gone into the fact that it's like those bands. I mean, I like the fact that bands like that, where it's just sort of like, oh, is there a scene for like ridiculous like tech metal? Not really. Like, who we're gonna get to record this in our area? Probably no one to the standard that we can. Yeah. Let's just learn how to do it really good ourselves. And I just love that mentality, and I just kind of want to try and do that.
It's almost like I know you hear the phrase DIY, and that sounds like crusty and punky. That's the first thing that comes to my head. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these really amazingly, like massively produced, almost overproduced tech metal. Yeah, that's like new kind of DIY.
That is like, it's almost like new punk. Yeah, in a weird way. That kind of punk rock attitude where we'll just create a scene. Yeah, we'll just do it ourselves. We'll do everything. Like, we'll create the buzz, we'll create the music, we'll create the recordings, and we'll sell them ourselves. Yeah. And if anyone nobody wants to push it, who gives a fuck? We'll do it ourselves. Because they can, and there's like, I suppose there's tools out there to do it now.
Well, that's it. The way that the tools work now is anyone with who saves up a bit of money can buy a really good laptop and can get some production software and can learn how to do it. And there's so many music production courses now.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can realistically do it all from your bedroom fairly easily to a certain degree, and you know, if you really dedicated yourself to it, you could do it. Whereas I reckon before, like, you just went to a studio for your good production. That was kind of how it.
And it's not even like the case of like a lot of it gets done in box either. Like, if you didn't know what you were doing, you could probably get something pretty okay.
Yeah.
But that's probably as good as you would get.
Yeah.
Like, there's genuine like knowledge and kind of talent that goes into a lot of these.
Of course.
A lot of these kind of recordings.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's
I'm
like
not
you're making use of like what you have, and just making something sound absolutely massive in a really like DIY kind of like, well, different places.
Yeah.
Like, for like, somebody will go and like record drums in a practice room, and they'll just have to be really savvy about how they record it, and just know the room, or even just be like, well, I know what kind of room I've got now. How do I record that in a way that's like where the room sound doesn't degrade or get in the way of the sound, but also like adds to the recording. And then kind of going into like, so we'll say even like this, like my bedroom, and just having like an amp set up, and just being like, well, knowing how to kind of not manipulate the room, but just be aware of the room, and how do I kind of.
Well, that's it. The way people learn now is just, I don't know, you can share information so quickly these days.
Yeah, and it's the whole kind of like the forum thing where you just put your mixes up, and people kind of go like, you need more of this,
it's not like a secret knowledge that only producers really have anymore.
Not anymore, really. But then it's like a lot of the kind of classic producers from back in the day, they were all probably like, we were all kind of in the same boat. Nobody really kind of knew a lot of what they were doing. Just kind of, they'd done it for a while and they knew what worked.
I feel like you hear, like, if ever you watch a documentary of like a making of album with the producers heavily involved, like there was so much more to it than just recording and setting up the album. There was almost like an extra member of the bands. A lot of these producers, they understood. Was that me or you?
That was me.
A lot of they understood a lot of things to do with song arrangement and harmonies and melodies, and they they would pitch in a lot of ideas into that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like back then bands kind of needed someone like that.
And I think back then a lot of bands were writing more in the studio as well. So maybe go in. A lot of the time,
that was where the only place you really could do it.
And they would go in with like the basic song.
Well, that's the only
flesh it out.
That's the only space you would really be able to flesh it out. Really,
yeah.
You would take these like bare bones ideas, like maybe something that somebody had done on an acoustic guitar, and kind of gone like, well, this is a riff. This is all I have. This is a riff and maybe some lyrics. I don't really know what the drums would do. I'll need to take it into a practice place totally. Or go into the studio and see what the drummer will do, and only then will I know if I like what he's going to do or not. I hope I like it. So
I guess it's kind of always feels weird to me when you're watching one of these makings of, or like a documentary about any band really from the 60s, 70s, 80s, where they're like, oh, I just wrote that one in the studio one day. It just came together in the studio.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, why were you writing in the studio?
Yeah, I know.
Surely you write and prepare all your stuff out at the studio and then go into the studio.
That's money.
What are you doing? Why are you writing songs?
But at the same time, it's like, a studio environment is a place where you can do that, though.
Yeah.
Just like, I have a riff, and then if the drummer's there, just sort of like, here's a riff, jam over that idea. And then before you know it, and if it's like a really nice studio, it's like, you could probably just use those scratch takes and they would just sound great anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe not like the performances, you maybe want to get the performance better. But that's, the quality of the recording would be good enough to just be like, oh, well, that's a fucking song.
The Beatles are pretty famous for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of recording demos. And then them just becoming the finished versions.
Yeah.
So I think it happened with Paul McCartney and Wings' Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
I only know this story because of like extreme James Bond knowledge. But they wrote that song, and then they gave it to the James Bond producers and said, this is what we've came up with. This is the demo. And that eventually just became the finished version. They just didn't do it again.
Yeah.
It was just it was so good as a demo version.
Yeah.
And I think one of the James Bond producers said, and on the demo obviously it's Paul McCartney singing.
Yeah.
And one of the producers said, right, okay, so thanks for writing this, Paul. Who do you think we should get to sing it? And it's like, this is Paul McCartney from the Beatles.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to sing it.
Yeah.
You silly man.
You.
And it pretty much ended up just being that version.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you hear that quite a lot with the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
They would come up with stuff in the studio and do it, and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't remember what song it was. Like they write it in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you hear all these stories. Oh, this song just came together in a couple of hours in the studio, and that to me is a weird thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they obviously just. I like the natural.
Yeah.
Way that sort of thing occurs. Obviously,
it's also that idea of just like. It's all probably only weird to and wonderful to us now because we've lived with those songs for so long, and they're now viewed as pop masterpieces.
Yeah,
whereas back they're just at the end of the day,
out tunes.
At the end of the day, they're four gadgets banging out some pop tunes.
Yeah.
Or like back in the day, there's like pop wasn't really.
Well, that's it. I suppose
they were kind of establishing what it meant to be a pop band.
Well, that's it because it's like an art form. It's like, well, how is it? When's a song finished?
Mm-hmm.
And how long does it take to write a good song? You know, because you could slog over writing a song and it never really comes together. And 3 days down the line, if you're trying to write it, you scrap it because you go, this ain't fucking going anywhere. And then other times you piece it together in essentially half an hour and you know it's fine the way it is. That's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you kind of just know.
Well, okay, so today ended up being a nice wee kind of hour-long load of nonsense.
We're trying to consciously make it about an hour.
Yeah.
The problem with what's happened today is we've reached the hour mark now, and we've yet to get onto the topic that we were hoping to get onto today, which was a more in-depth analysis on the songwriting for our new upcoming album.
Which is probably for the best, because with the time that we've got, we'd actually probably want to maybe leave it off and do it properly at another point, which I'm more than happy to do.
But I think the last one, 2 hours and 5 minutes, is kind of that's a bit long for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, podcasts that I love that are like 2 hours long, even then I'm going, oh Christ.
Yeah, so I think maybe next time, or for another one, we'll do a very specific one about that, and we'll try not to have too much random chit chat beforehand going into it.
I think that's
so that we
can
actually do it a little bit of justice, because we could rush it for 20 minutes now, and it's probably
gonna be crap. Yeah,
and it was too much of an emotional journey for us to summarize in 20 minutes. We'd like to.
We've all probably got too much we would actually want to say about it. And I don't know. We've talked about the Beatles today.
What have we talked about today? We talked about some clothes. We
were talking about my fashion sense
for most of it, by the sense of it.
Wow, what an egotistical prick.
And then we talked a bit about some underground bands.
We did,
And I mean, we got onto music eventually. And then we got onto our...
It wasn't our own, but you know.
And we got onto our topic of the day at the deadline.
So, whatever.
Possibly next time we're going to have Ewan and Ben from Ifrian. That's not 100% confirmed yet, but we're both, us, Disposable and Ifrian, are supporting Lost Society thrash band from Finland in a couple of weeks. So we wanted to do a little thing with them, just talking about that, and also just talking about, you know, metal music in Scotland and being in an underground band with them to get more than just our annoying voices onto the podcast.
So hopefully that'll be a thing.
Hopefully next time that's what it'll be, and then the one after that will maybe go into
a more in-depth writing
thing about
session about that. And we'll probably I think it's probably better if we do it track by track, because usually when we end up talking about it, we end up kind of
it becomes a bit messy.
We try because the album process itself was really messy, and the writing process of it, because it's like we we were trying to remember, and you were like, it's easier if we remember it as the songs got written. And then as we talked about it, I was like, yeah, but I can't remember when stuff started and when it got finished. I can remember when stuff got finished, but I can't remember when it got started, and I can't remember how long. It's probably easier if we go it track by track and be like, what was the story for that
we can
song?
do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
It sounds delicious.
It'll be a bit more organised for listening purposes as well, I suppose.
But yeah, for purpose of today, I hope you all have a lovely day.
Yeah,
By the time this comes out, tomorrow will be Monday.
Yes.
So I hope you all have a delicious and tasty Monday, a fruity fresh Tuesday, a wicked Wednesday,
a thick Thursday,
a fab Friday,
a succulent Saturday,
and
then it'll be the podcast again on Sunday, so it's fucked. Your week will be ruined again next Sunday.
Yeah, you'll spend all week recovering from this, and then we'll just whack another one in front of you, and you'll be like, oh no, not again.
Super big shout out to anyone that's listened to all of these.
Yeah, if you've listened to every single one that's come out so far.
I know a few people have.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that I know
sick.
who have, and you're all pretty damn incredible people for doing that.
We're gonna try and make them about an hour or just over an hour from this point on, just to make them a bit less rambly.
Yeah.
Although, as I say, we rambled so much today, we never actually got round to talking about the thing that we were going to talk about. But that speaks volumes for what we have to improve on here. But
that says a lot about the type of people that we are.
In general. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. And next week, hopefully, we're going to have Ewan and Ben from Ifrian chatting all sorts of underground metal-y type things with them. Because they're nice, like-minded people.
They're lovely lads.
I don't actually think I've met Ben yet, the new guitar player.
I've said he's a lovely lad, but, you know...
It would be nice to have him on and actually
have
meet
those
him
assumptions
live.
Confirmed. Yeah, I know. On the air. And Ewan's alright, you know.
Ewan's Ewan, and I can't wait to talk to him.
I can't wait to have him in my house.
That's true.
Yeah, that's going to be... Although Ewan's been... I don't know, that's not even a thing anymore. He's been in my house.
Has he?
He was in the old house.
Oh, the old house, yeah.
Yeah, that was when he filled in for us.
Yes, we can talk about that too, actually.
We can, cool. Yeah!
There's lots of relevant things to talk about.
We've got lots of things to stockpile in the chat bank.
Find out if they can't come.
No. Oh, well.
Or they just don't want to.
I know, probably after this, it was like, that sounds rubbish. Let's not bother. Anyway, goodbye. One and all.
Thank you extremely much for listening.
I love you.